Hi, everybody. Thank you so much for joining us today. I am so excited to be sitting in a room with two of my favorite people. And I know you think, Sam, you say that a lot, but it's true. These two are amazing, and you're going to find out why they're two of my favorite people. I have Audrey Weber here. Not only is she the head of CS for Kustomer, but she is also our chief retail and e-commerce extraordinaire. That is her official title. And we are joined by Ryan Shirk, who is our AI expert in residence at Kustomer. He knows his stuff. So super excited to be talking to these two folks today, right ahead of the busiest time of year for a lot of our customers. So what we're going to do is we're just going to have a nice discussion about what you should be thinking about right now as we're getting down to the wire ahead of this holiday rush, and how you can use AI to help alleviate some of that pain. So before we get started, if Ryan and Audrey, if you would be so kind as to give a brief introduction, just tell us a little bit about who you are. Audrey, if you wouldn't mind starting us off.
Sure. Sam, thank you so much for such a glowing introduction. I don't know that I need to say much, but hi, everyone. I lead customer success at Kustomer. Prior to Kustomer, have had the privilege of leading other success organizations across their customer experience journey. And then prior to that was led a contact center that went through kind of explosive growth, but have a range of e-commerce and retail experiences, and just really, really excited to be here today.
Awesome. We're excited to have you. Thank you. Thank you for joining us. And Ryan, you want to tell the people a little bit about all of your street cred?
Absolutely, Sam. Thanks. And yeah, excited to be here. So my name is Ryan Shirk. So I've spent roughly the past decade in the conversational AI space. Prior to that, I worked for an email service provider, all in on e-commerce and retail. So a large part of my career has been focused on retail specifically, and obviously Black Friday, Cyber Monday, holiday season is right around the corner, and it's very exciting for those of us that are focused on retail.
Absolutely. Well, thank you. Thank you so much. And yeah, just to get us started, Audrey, I would love to ask you, okay, so you have a little bit of experience in a whole bunch of things. So, from the world of retail and e-commerce to the world of customer experience and customer success, in your mind right now, what is the single biggest thing, the most highest risk operational task that CX leaders should be thinking about? Like, what keeps you up at night right now?
Yeah, so I mean, a lot of things, but yeah, so given it's the most exciting time of year in terms of Black Friday, Cyber Monday, I mean, what keeps me up is making sure that the business has the capacity and capability to serve the influx of existing and new customers coming to the business, whether it's a website or physical retailer. We want to make sure that we have the inventory, the website optimization, and obviously from a customer experience standpoint, the agents, human or otherwise, are equipped to best serve those customers. Because let's face it, today's promo customers are your future loyal customer base if managed correctly. So this is the time to really roll out the red carpet and make it easy and exciting for your customers and your customer facing teams. So that's, capacity, capability. Those are the things that are keeping me up. And then I guess making sure that all of the different permutations of the customer journey are present and accounted for. And that we've got, responses and, a path to a successful outcome, regardless of, kind of what the customer hits as a part of their journey.
Yeah, absolutely. So you mentioned volume, put a pin in that because I'm going to come back to that. I want to talk about Wizmo real quick. Wizmo, where is my order? That is usually what I hear about, that and policy changes, especially as it pertains to capacity and volume. So, thinking about that as like the kind of what is top of mind for a lot of folks, and policy questions that come around that, is that where the queue is bottlenecking right now?
Yes, or Wismo, or a version of Wismo. I mean, I think right now it's like I think, yeah. I mean, I have started getting Black Friday deals. I think about 2 weeks ago. So yeah, where's my order? Definitely relevant. I think, where's my tracking number? What's the return policy? When am I getting my refund? Those, I mean, I think are all kind of similar, high volume, pretty predictable contact drivers that are, the low hanging fruit, definitely bottlenecking systems. And honestly, as we go deeper into the holiday season, also burning out your agents if you're not, if you have human agents addressing those things.
Yeah, absolutely. You bring up a good point. And Ryan, that was something I wanted to ask you about is, we think about Wismo first as it comes to, deploying AI and really getting the biggest bang for your buck. Are there any of those other scenarios that we just talked about that maybe teams with smaller agent teams and human teams aren't thinking about? Or is Wismo really the best place to get your bang for your buck this close to the holiday season?
Yeah, it's a good question. Obviously Wismo is a huge one in retail, and it absolutely should be looked at in terms of automation. But it does require an integration into, your back end systems, right? Whether it's your OMS or a third party carrier, there is an integration aspect to it. So, if you're going to do that, obviously make sure you have the runway to do that and the capabilities to do that. Another big one, as we go into the holiday is in stock. So that's another big volume driver. Customers just interacting with contact centers, asking about products. Are they in stock? Is this actually going to be delivered in time for the holiday? Kind of thing. So that also obviously would require an integration into, like your product catalog. Some of the other items, and Audrey touched on it a little bit in terms of promotions already coming out, but those Black Friday, Cyber Monday promotions and deals that are coming out, that is all stuff that is set early on, and it's stuff that's static, right? So like, retailers already know what their deals are going to be on Black Friday, Cyber Monday, and so those are very easy static data pieces that can be built into AI, and there's a very high degree of confidence that those answers that AI provides would be accurate, right? Because it's not calling out the third party systems. It's just defining, what the promotions are and then allowing AI to do its thing.
Yeah, I love that. That is such a good point. We think about using AI for customer facing things and agents all the time, but really leveraging the data that you have ahead of time is brilliant. So I want to shift gears a little bit. We've been talking about promotions and the fact that we're already getting those things. I think we're making up new Wismo tags and abbreviations there. I can't wait to see the really long thread of where is my tracking number and where is my order status. Doesn't roll off the tongue as easily. But let's shift gears a little bit from the policy confusion and where's my order into fraud. So as the holiday season goes forward, then we have these questions about securing your gift card policies and managing returns fraud, things like that. What are the highest stake operational priorities right now? Is it something like that, or is there something, Audrey, that maybe CX leaders and retail leaders aren't thinking about right now?
Yeah, so that's a great question. And I think, different businesses are going to have different levels of exposure to shrinkage. And I think if we take a step back from that, consistent, reliable communication around, policies, new insights or trends that are kind of developing during the season, whether it's, whether it's a, new type of fraud, or, different, some contacts that look, that, a body of contacts that look maybe a little, suspicious, promotion changes, shipping delays. I think, like, beyond fraud, it's really around making sure that, the communication that's happening between your marketing teams and your shipping teams and your customer support teams are consistent. And as dynamics change throughout the season, there is a, kind of reliable closed loop of communication kind of repository of assets that your customer facing teams can access to know, okay, this is what's changing, this is why, and then this is how I communicate that to my customer.
I love that. Central repositories, they don't get as much love as they deserve. They really don't.
Not sexy, but super critical, especially
Super critical.
during the season. Yeah.
And you touch on a lot of things that remind me of a very fancy word, and that is nuance. So these types of issues are nuanced. And you mentioned new types of fraud, things that haven't even been identified yet, or being able to kind of put those patterns together. And as I think about that, Ryan, I think about the fact that AI gets this bad rap for not being able to deal with nuance well. So I would love to hear your take on that. And is there a way that CX teams can use AI to basically protect that revenue and better catch these complex fraud issues without slowing down the legitimate customer experience?
Yeah, great question. So kind of a circle back to my first point about static data. So a return policy is static, right? It's a black and white, like this is our policy. Something that AI is very good at handling, right? Because it's static. It takes the emotion out of it, from a human agent. Clearly defines decision criteria and allows the AI to really evaluate the situation. We all know in situations like this, there's gray areas, and so that is why we have this concept of human in the loop, where an AI can be evaluating a situation, or specifically a return, and trying to see if it's valid, or if it's potential fraud risk. And then the AI has a clear path to escalate to a human if there needs to be intervention. So highly recommend building that into your AI. So allowing AI to sort of run through the black and whites of the return policy, and then if there are areas of gray or that need more need more review, that there's an easy path for escalation.
Yeah, I love that. To me, it doesn't sound like it's so much about nuance, but about trust. That's what I'm hearing when you're mentioning that. I love that. All right, kind of switching gears a little bit. Beyond Wismo, Audrey, I'd love to hear, for the CX leaders that are making these final checklists, getting their ducks in a row, making a list, checking it twice, all those fun things. What is one thing every year that gets overlooked that CX leaders really should think about planning for now before everything gets crazy?
Yeah, so I think it's managing change. Let's face it, promo season is 2 months long, potentially longer, and promotions are going to hit differently. Shipping delays are going to come up. There's going to be, you're probably going to have an assortment, an item that is way hotter or not as hot. And those different promotional levers are going to be kind of, pushed and pulled throughout. So the ability to really, react to those changes and ensure that there is, consistent, consistent communication and the ability to kind of reorchestrate the customer journey in real time when those different changes happen. And then, on top of that, ensure that the seamless experience that you planned for prior to the season starting, you can apply to these new customer journeys that come from, the different dynamics changing throughout the season. So I think, it's really ensuring that the communication loop, your cross-functional communication loop, is in play. I think Ryan mentioned like pressure testing that to make sure that, okay, we think this works, but does this really work when the going gets tough? And then, really focusing on, okay, now that we've pressure tested these changes, what can I do to just ensure that this works at scale, employing automation and AI to to address those things that are going to be high volume, kind of static knowns, as Ryan said, and then continuing to like pump up your team. I think it's change fatigue is real, especially during this season, and I think it's with AI and automation in play, it's even more important that when a customer is engaging with a human, that there's just a real kind of authentic, real authentic human connection there, and making sure that your team, is ready to kind of deliver that is going to, throughout the entirety of the season is also going to be crucial.
Yeah, Audrey, you just reminded me of my favorite Mike Tyson quote: "Everyone has a plan until they get punched in the face." So everything has to be changeable. Everything has to be flexible. And, if you're planning in a straight line of a customer journey, then you better get ready to get punched in the face, because that's just going to happen. Ryan, how can, thinking through how, change management and taking care of your human agents is really key during this upcoming rush. How can AI best help with things like that?
Yeah, I mean, overall, like from a tactical level, I think, taking a look at last year's Black Friday, Cyber Monday volume, holiday volume, and adjust for this year's trends, will sort of preemptively allow you to identify, failure points within your tech stack and ensure proper rate limits are in place. And so this is a way that you can obviously support your agents in preemptively making sure that, there's not going to be any issues with the technology that they're using. Leveraging AI to set up thresholds for alerts, whether, if you're starting to hit some of those thresholds, so that you can, proactively adjust on the fly. And then, back to the point of static. So building in static content into things like Copilot, for giving agents tools to be able to leverage during this time, and just communicating to the agents that, hey, the use cases that we have built into this AI is based on static data, and there's a very, very high degree of confidence that we have in these answers. So you should too. You should feel good about the answers that the tools, the AI is giving you, and so you should feel confident in leveraging these tools.
I love that. What's really interesting is that, we talked about being able to manage change and being flexible, and yet you also mentioned taking advantage of static resources that can be really helpful. So I love this balance of being able to change, but also knowing that you can take solace in kind of the routine things that should not change. I love that.
Yeah.
All right. So, really, we're about 72 hours away from when this rush begins. I know Black Friday is, not for another couple of weeks, but we're about to enter the time where most CX queues really start lighting up. So to kind of wrap this up, tie a beautiful bow on this gift that y'all are giving the CX organizations out there in the world, what in one sentence is the biggest action item, key takeaway that CX leaders should be thinking about in this 72 hours ahead of this rush? Audrey, you go first.
I don't know that I can put it in one sentence, but I will, maybe a run on. Triple check your customer workflows and make sure all of your communication channels and your rep training reflect that. And then I think, and publicize how, when, and where your contingency plans, are, should something need to change.
Beautiful. And you know what? The punctuation you used in there to create one sentence, brilliant. Very good.
Thanks, Sam.
Ryan, how about you?
Yeah, I would say, AI can become very complex quickly. I would say, focus on, being that we're right around the corner, focus on the things that are low-hanging fruit, the things that you can control. If that's not back-end integrations at this point, if that needs to wait, then that's fine. But there's things that you can do today with that static data sets that you have that can help augment agents. And then, as I mentioned before, giving the agents confidence in these tools and really explaining to them, hey, this is all based on static data we have, and so you can, if you're going to leverage these tools, you can be confident it's giving you the right information at the right time. So I would say, there's, again, AI can be very complex, but there's a lot of low-hanging fruit based on static data that's in platforms today that you can leverage, as a quick phase one. And then, as you mature in your AI journey, is where you kind of get into these third-party integrations.
I love that. Don't be afraid to try it out. That's what I'm hearing. Well, y'all, did you have fun? Audrey and Ryan, did you have fun today?
Absolutely.
This is one of my favorite times of year, favorite things to talk about, and favorite group of people. So this was a blast. Thanks, Sam.
Thank you. Thank you so much for joining me. And everybody out there in TV land, we know that you are super busy because you have 72 hours before your big rush, but we appreciate you joining us, and hopefully you got a little bit of nugget of gold to take with you on that journey. So if you did not memorize every single thing that we said today, that is okay, because we're going to send you this recording along with a couple other really cool resources, like our Black Friday, Cyber Monday, and AI playbook guide, which is going to be attached to this webinar as a document. If you are already using Kustomer and you want to explore more automation and AI features, we're here. The customer CS team, we are here to help you out. So feel free to reach out to the CS team and we'll get you started on that journey. Also, if you are looking for an AI native customer experience platform to help you up-level your brand's experience, you should check out Kustomer. We are not just another ticketing platform. Kustomer has always been built around 3 tenets. 1, we are a modern CRM platform to understand everything about your customer, because without insights into your customers, how can you provide amazing experiences? 2, we are a true omnichannel product, enabling you to engage with customers on any channel they prefer, all in one continuous conversation. And 3, we have orchestration, and it's there to automate routine and mundane tasks away from your agents, which allows them to do what they do best, which is take care of your customers. But you know what? We didn't stop there. We've always been on the leading edge of AI. We've been doing AI long before it became the industry buzzword as it is today. We're bringing native AI to every corner of our platform, making data more accessible, orchestration more seamless, and the entire experience smarter than ever. Reach out to us or go to kustomer.com/demo to schedule a convenient time to chat with our team about all of your needs. So with that, I'm Sam Chandler, Audrey Weber, Ryan Shirk. We make up the Kustomer CS team along with our awesome colleagues, and we can't wait to talk to you about the holiday rush or about your next AI journey. So thank you very much, and we look forward to the next one.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Bye.
Bye.